So a number of questions were asked, and I think I'll just try and answer them globally with just a few country-specific comments. First, regarding Sudan, I think the implementation of the 17th August Constitutive Declaration, I think this was mentioned several times. This needs to be encouraged and accompanied. But most importantly, I think the sanctions need to be lifted in order for Sudan to be able to move forward. And of course, continually encouraging them for more women's participation. And I think last week you had this opportunity by hearing firsthand from some of the actors that are actually on the ground. And I think such engagements should be encouraged in order to raise their voices. On South Sudan, I think this has also been mentioned a couple of times, the need for accelerating the implementation of the revitalized peace agreement. The international community has to maintain pressure, and this also has to be accompanied, and not the fact that there's a major humanitarian crisis going on in that country should not be overlooked, and women and children are the ones that are suffering the most in this situation. Regarding Somalia, I think this was also mentioned a couple of times regarding the resumption of the dialogue between the central and the federal member states. And this, I think I mentioned it briefly last week as well, within the framework of our cooperation with the UN. We've started exploring the development of a political strategy to facilitate coherence in our engagements in the country. I'd like to also appreciate, the 4 points that were mentioned by Indonesia regarding the primacy of peaceful settlements and disputes, and particularly the fact that if we work with a united front in confronting some of these common challenges, we'll be able to make more of an impact. Regarding the peace, encouraging more female peacekeepers, I think the DSG has addressed this, but I'd also like to reemphasize that whatever support we give, whatever encouragement we give, we have to also consider the fact that, there are some basic needs that women peacekeepers have, and that has to be taken into consideration. In Somalia, we heard from the special envoy how basics like just bathroom facilities that are exclusive to women, just having that privacy, sanitary towels, being able to have access to communication, to speak to their families on a regular basis. Simple things that can easily be overlooked but make a huge impact in supporting them or encouraging them to actually stay on the ground even when they're deployed. And then the last point I'd like to make is just second to the last point, just regarding what you said about girls' education. I think it absolutely does translate to women's economic empowerment, and we've seen this in so many different country situations where you can see actually how by educating girls, eventually even the mothers get educated by proxy, just based on the experiences they have on the ground. So that should be absolutely encouraged. And then I think lastly, there's an opportunity with the Peace Building Commission. I think it has current engagement with the Greater Horn of Africa, and I hope that with the upcoming review, some of these opportunities would be explored, on coherence, on financing, on ownership, particularly at the regional level, and working with the regional mechanisms and the regional economic communities. Thank you.
Thank you very much to Ambassador Mohammed. Does any council